Hey guys, this is Malonb or Malonb from Facebook or malonshop.com, and I'm here to make my cast of crude update video. I actually don't recall if I made the last one before or after New Year's, but if I haven't done so already, I hope all you guys have had a great New Year's. If you do celebrate New Year's, I hope you have had a great holiday season, and I hope your new year, 2015, is starting off really well. For this cast off crew update, the first thing I want to show you guys is my sweater, my finished cardigan. This is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. It is called Harvest. I made mine in brown, obviously, with stripes on the arms. I wanted to get that look, so that's that's what I did. I did alter my pattern because again my gauge is just pretty bad, so I had to alter the pattern itself, which actually I think I did a pretty good job. The sweater itself I think has a really nice fit. Also, I used Red Heart with Love. You guys know that Walmart had a Black Friday, that was their thing with Heart with Love for sale. I think it was a little under $2 per skein, so of course I had to use that. I bought enough yarn to make a sweater because I had that in mind. So so far I love this yarn. It's actually the first time I've used it, and I really like it a lot. I finished the sweater. I have woven in all the ends and everything, but I have not actually washed it yet. I still need to do that, although I am wearing it already. Because I do like the sweater a lot. I wish I could have set this up so I can, you know, stand up and show you guys. Maybe I'll show you anyway. Let me see. Maybe I'll go behind here. Okay, that's better. This is how it looks. So yeah, the pattern itself is for an open cardigan. Via the pattern, you do the front a little longer, if that makes sense. So you're able to close it up like this if you wanted with a shawl pin, or you also have the options of making buttons there, buttonholes, or putting buttons on. I stopped it before that, obviously, because I just wanted to keep it as an open sweater all the time. Although I think I like that idea now, so I definitely will be remaking the sweater with, you know, as the pattern calls for, I guess you could say. But yeah, I love it a lot. If you guys want to have or want to see more information on how I made it, etc., check out my Ravelry page. And again, it is a free pattern via Tin Can Knits. They have a lot of great free patterns. They have quite a few, if not all, that I actually want to make. I have them queued in my Ravelry. But yeah, this was definitely one of the biggest things I completed. It was a whip from last year, obviously, but I'm still really happy with it. I like it a lot. The next thing I finished is my, you get that. I finished a pair of leg warmers. If you guys have seen my update, you guys know I am doing that monthly yarn club kind of thing where I showed you guys the 12 skeins or 12 colorways that I picked out for each month of the year. The first one I picked was, and I just forgot the name of it, but it was, okay, I had to go grab the label just to show you guys. The first one, or my January pick, was the Plymouth Yarn and Core Color Spun. And I wanted to use as much of the yarn as possible because I only had one skein of this, and since I am not planning to buy any yarn or more yarn anytime soon, I just wanted to use it all up. I didn't want to have, you know, little scraps here and there, because then, you know, what do you do with that? Or at least I don't really have a plan of what to do with my scraps yet, so I just wanted to use it all up. I was thinking hand warmers or fingerless gloves, etc., but that was too small for a project. It would not have, I did try to make one just to see how much yarn it would use up, but I really was not going to use up the whole skein, so I went for something bigger, which my answer to that was leg warmers, and I finished a couple, or a pair. They look like this. And I didn't use a pattern for these. I just kind of made it up. It was inspired. There you go, that's the word. It was inspired by the sweater, cozy sweater warmer that I got from Smells Like Yarn, or Smell Great Guy. If you guys have not seen him or watched him before, he does have a podcast, and he is a consultant for Scentsy. Go check him out. One of the times, or I think when I first started watching him, actually, I bought a warmer from the Scentsy, you know, online store, and it looks like a knitted sweater. So if you have not seen my pictures of that, because I've posted some on Instagram before, and I'm sure I've showed you guys. I know I made a video regarding that, probably a mail time video. So anyway, I will post a picture up here. And that isn't exactly the pattern I used, just because these ones are like 2x2 rib and 2x2 cables, and the ones in the warmers are 3x3, something like that. But it was inspired. They look like that, and they do stretch out quite a lot, enough for your foot to go in, obviously. I have worn them already once before. Last weekend we actually took a trip to the Shenandoah area, just to drive on the Skyline Drive, which, if you don't know, if you're not familiar, it's just a really nice long road that cuts through the Shenandoah National Park. I think it's a national park, and it has a really great view of the whole area. So it was really pretty. Anyway, yeah, they work really well. I'm really happy with these. The only thing that was a little bit disappointing is that they do have striping that matches, but they kind of have like the yarn itself had two versions of the striping. Like, for example, you can see here, like right here you would have the blue, the beige, pink, beige, lighter pink, but right, like on this side you can see that there's like it's a different kind of beige, a lighter or more orangey beige. I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know if you guys can really see it, but I'm sure you get my point. The stripes didn't match exactly, which I started at the same spot, or it seemed like, but I ended up with different stripes. You guys can see that. So that was the only thing that was a little bit disappointing. I was hoping that it would have exact stripes so they will look exactly the same, but I'm still happy with this. It's close enough for me. I love them, so that's all that matters. Again, if you want to have more info on these in general, I do have a project page on my Ravelry. I've been trying to be good about making project pages for those. The next thing, well, actually I think that was the last thing I finished so far. I do have a few whips, works in progress. Let me start with the first one. And I have them in a bag here, so if I make noise, just because I'm taking them out. Okay, let me start with this one. This is for, again, Smells Like Yarn, Smells Like Yarn's podcast, Smell Great Guy. Like I said before, he has a podcast, and on his Ravelry group, he's doing a knit along for a pattern that he got from his Maxim. Is that what it is? I'm not really familiar because I'm not part of it, but his Maxim subscription, I think they send out yarn monthly or something like that. Was it this month, or maybe it was December's pattern, was actually a free pattern from Bernat. So he decided to do a knit along, and this is the pattern. It's Bernat's Cable Baby Blanket. It is a free pattern. And they actually don't really have many projects there. I think maybe they have 2, maybe 3. I don't remember exactly, but I actually don't recall seeing many pictures of the finished project or the works in progress. So I was like, maybe I'll try it out. And it is a pretty easy pattern, I would say, but There is one part where I tried to do it. I tried maybe a couple of repeats of the pattern. It's an 8-row pattern, I believe, and I just couldn't do it. I messed it up. My stitch count was off, so I decided to redo it and just simplify that area completely. So I think now looking at it, it is a little too simple. I should have maybe put seed stitch there instead or something like that, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. And I am making a mini version just so I can get through with it. So I can do it quickly, and I think this will make a good size for a preemie blanket. I know there's a lot of places, hospitals, etc. that do want blankets or other hand knits for, you know, their baby department. Is that what you call it? Maternity ward. There you go. You guys know what I mean. So far, this is what I have. Oops, my ball fell down. I'll get it later. But so far, this is what I have. And that's the cable pattern. In the middle part, via the pattern, it's supposed to have like it looks like little baubles all on it, like a bauble section. As you can see, like I said, it looks a little plain just with stockinette. I at least have put the seed stitch in there because the borders are made from seed stitch. But I'm thinking at least the stripes gives it some, you know, something extra. Maybe like 3/4 of my way in. I'm just gonna make it long enough so it's a good size square, and I think that will do. I will have to block it a little bit just because the cable itself kind of, you know, pulls the other parts in, as you can see. But that is how far I am in with this project. And again, it is a free pattern. I do have a Rav page. Just assume from now on I will be having a Rav page, project page for whatever I'm making. At least ideally, that is where it should be. Again, check it out. The next thing I'm working on is 8 hats. And again, if you guys follow me on Instagram, or actually I don't think I have put it on Tumblr, but I also do have a Tumblr as well. If you guys have followed me on Instagram or liked my Facebook page, you guys know I have been working on this because I did post a picture of it. I'm doing a sock head hat, and so far I have this much. I have the 4 inches of ribbing. I have, I think about 4 inches, maybe a little bit more of the stockinette. I actually forgot, and this is a free pattern, I forgot how long you're supposed to do the stockinette part, but just checking out the projects that other people have made, etc., I decided I'm only going to do a 6-inch in the stockinette and then decrease. And this is how much I have left of the skein. This is Lion Brand's Sock Ease, I think that's what it's called, Sock Ease in Sourball, the Sourball color. And you can see more notes again on my Rav project page. But for my hat, obviously, like always, my gauge was pretty wrong. So I decided, since I was going to change the pattern up anyways, because of my gauge, I'm going to be doubling up the yarn. So I am doubling up the yarn, which is actually making this go probably a lot faster than it would have originally, I guess. But I do like how it's turning out. It's pretty nice. I tried it on, at least the ribbing part, it does fit pretty well. I'm not really a hat person. I don't really wear hats ever, really. I will wear a hood, you know, like if you're wearing like a jacket or something that has a hood. I would prefer wearing hoods over hats. But I think this year I decided I'm going to be making a lot of different kinds of hats, just to try them out and see if I can get myself used to wearing some, even if it's not, you know, like my go-to. At least I wouldn't be uncomfortable wearing a hat. At least I'll get used to seeing myself in one, because right now I don't really. But yeah, this one is going to be completed hopefully by the end of the month. The next thing I'm working on is a pair of mittens. And these are actually from, oh yeah, I did say this was a free pattern, right? It's called the Socket Hat. I don't know who it's by, but you can find it in Rav. The next one I'm doing is a pair of mitts or mittens from this book, Circular Knitting Workshop. I bought this book when I started knitting, and I liked the book a lot, but I stopped going through it at some point because the things in it were a little too confusing and too hard for me to do still. So that's when I started looking at YouTube a lot more, and Ravelry as well, which actually has helped me a lot to progress my skills and stuff I could make or feel comfortable with making, etc. So now that I kind of have more experience, I'm going back through the book and making the things I never had just because they were a little too hard at that time. I finished one mitt except for the thumb. It looks like this. And yeah, except for the thumb, obviously. And I'm using the yarn, what is it called? Loops and Threads Charisma. I think the colorway is called Mountain Majesty. And I really loved the color when it was in the skein. I did not love it so much once it's made up, except for this part. This part here, I find that part so pretty, like the colorway itself. Like this part right here, I like that. I really, really like that. It reminds me of like a dirty cream color. I don't know how to describe it. It's variegated, but it's like, you know, spontaneous variegated. It's, you guys can see it. I love it a lot. Before I made the mitts, I actually did a swatch, and I just happened to, you know, to start with that color. And I do have a picture of that on my Rav. I really love it. I love the little section right here. So if you guys know anyone that either dyes or any yarn that looks like this, you know, like in a whole skein, not part of a colorway type of thing, do let me know. I was thinking that I could dye some myself, but I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to make it like that. I really like how it's, you know, I'm never gonna try to describe, but you guys can see it. But anyway, this is how much I have left. I finished one mitt except the thumb. I actually did start on the other mitt, and I'm going to wait to do the thumb at the end, just so I can kind of make sure that it's the same, both are the same color, depending on how much yarn I have left, etc. On the second mitt, I'm like maybe halfway done, I would say. And again, that is from this book, the Circular Knitting Workshop. And the pattern I'm doing is called Cable and Gusset Mittens. And I did have to adjust mine just a little bit, again, because one of my gauge, yeah, number one, because of my gauge, and also because my hand, I think, is a little bit longer, so I had to add like a little, you know, a little extra up here so my fingers would fit, if that makes sense. I do like the mitts. The colorway, not so much, but of course I do plan on finishing these. If anything, they will be for donations or for donating. The next thing I'm working on is a swatch. I did show you guys this one, I think, while I was working on it, but I have completed, I guess I've completed it, but I still want to add something else to it. And I was kind of disappointed by this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in my last video. I told you guys I was trying out the double knitting technique. Double knitting. I was working on this chart right here, the Piranha, and I wanted to see how it will turn out if I make it like this. If I make it sideways, is that the right word? Or horizontal. So I made the Piranha to look like this. And I don't even know if you guys can tell what it is. If I didn't tell you what it was, would you be able to tell even? Because I don't think I would, unfortunately. This is what I got. I mean, really, would you guys know what this is if I did not tell you? This is what the other side looks like. And you guys can compare with a chart. Yeah, is there even like a well, that's a resemblance, but yeah, it's not so great, right? So I did not cast off yet because I wanted to make a second. I wanted to use the chart one more time, but this time I wanted to make it upright like that, just to see the comparison and to see which way it looks better. Kind of similar to the Tunisian crochet. If you work your charts, you know, from sideways or up and down, it does make a difference on how the final project looks. So I haven't started on that yet, obviously, but that is what I want to do with this swatch. And I do want to use this technique for a project eventually. So looking forward to finishing it up sooner than later, hopefully. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the sideways thing. But that's alright. The next thing I finished is actually not knitted or crochet. I actually I don't have any crochet projects right now, which is, I wouldn't say weird, but I feel like I haven't crocheted in a while. Again, not that it's bad or anything, but I kind of miss it. So I am planning to crochet something. Probably, I want to do another sweater for my husband, or a sweater for him, because I just have not done one yet, and that was one of my resolutions, or not resolutions, but one of my goals for last year. I made a couple for myself. I did not make any for him, so I thought maybe I would. But this next finished project, I would say, is my yarn. I know I showed you guys last time. I spun some yarn and I Navajo plied it. I wanted to dye it up, and I came up with this. This wasn't even inspired by the colorway of that Charisma yarn I liked. Now that I'm seeing it, it seems somewhat similar to that. I obviously haven't worked with this yet, so I don't know how it will look when I knit it up or anything, but I can see how it could be a little similar. But this one was an accident. I wanted to dye it what is the word? It's not brown. I wanted to dye it beige and blue and have the natural or the white color showing through some. I want it to be pretty, you know, not so blotchy looking, if you guys know what I mean. But I did use the food coloring for this, and it just happens that once I put it in the brown or the beige color, the color just separated, which gave me all the different colors in here, as you can see. I actually think this is going to be looking really pretty once I work with it. I still have no idea how much yarn there is here, but I already know I will be making something for myself. I washed it once, obviously, and I set the twist on this, and it actually is a lot softer than I thought it was. So I'm pretty sure once I work with it and wash it one more time after whatever I'm doing is complete, do that conditioner thing or whatever, I'm sure it's going to be pretty soft. I'm going to make a cowl. I think at the time, or for right now, I'm kind of obsessed with cowls. I really want to make one, and I forgot the name of those cowls, if they have a name, but they look like a bandana in the front, and they're a cowl like in the round, but in the front part they're like a bandana type that, you know, goes down to your neck. That is one of the kinds I want to make. I have not picked out a pattern yet. I know that there are actually a few patterns out there for them, so if you guys have any recommendations, if you guys have made some before, let me know. If you guys have a project page on your Rav, let me know. I want to go see your projects. Give me some inspiration, that kind of thing. And then the next thing I have done is also some spinning. I have completed a bobbin. It looks like this. Actually, I finished this last night, so it's going to be sitting here for maybe maybe at least one more day before actually skein it up and you know, to set the twist. You can't really see it that well. It is going to be a bulky, probably just a bulky. I don't know how much it's going to be getting plumped up once I wash it, but it's going to be bulky for maybe to a super bulky. Again, it just depends what happens after I wash it. And I actually forgot the name of this fiber. I'm going to be putting it here maybe, or otherwise the information will be in my blog. It is some of the fiber that I bought recently for the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales. At least I think it was. So yeah, check out my blog for more information on this. And this is just 2-ply. I was thinking of doing the Navajo plugin for this, but I think it was going to be just too big, like too bulky of a yarn. So I just did a regular 2-ply. And I only have this much left, which is not much at all, on one of the bobbins. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, I think that's all, guys. I hope you have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you at the end of the month. Bye.